Let me ask you something. When was the last time you woke up and felt genuinely powerful? Not just okay, not just functional, but the way you felt in your late 30s or early 40s. That sharp mental edge, that drive to attack the day, that physical presence in your own body that you could almost feel humming. If you're watching this video, chances are that feeling has been fading. And here's what nobody tells you. It didn't just disappear. It was slowly stolen from you, 1% at a time, by a hormone decline that most doctors completely ignore until you're already suffering. I'm Dr. Steven, and today I'm going to show you every testosterone booster that actually works. Ranked, explained, and backed by the science most YouTube channels are too lazy or too uninformed to break down properly. Not just what to take, why it works, at what dose, in what sequence. Because the difference between a supplement that does nothing and the same ingredient that transforms your energy, your body composition, and your confidence is almost always the protocol. Stay with me all the way through this, because the most powerful strategy I'm going to share is one almost nobody is talking about, and it comes at the end. First, let's understand what we're actually dealing with. Because if you don't understand the mechanism, you'll keep making the same mistakes. Testosterone production in your body follows a chain of command. Your brain sends a signal. Your testes respond. An enzyme converts raw material into finished testosterone. And a second enzyme, aromatase, can take that testosterone and convert it into estrogen instead. After 40, several things go wrong simultaneously. Your brain's signaling weakens. Your testes become less responsive. Aromatase activity increases, meaning more of the testosterone you do produce gets hijacked and converted. And on top of all of that, a protein called SHBG, sex hormone-binding globulin, rises with age, and it grabs free testosterone right out of your bloodstream, making it biologically unavailable to your cells. This is why some men get a testosterone blood test, see a normal number, and still feel terrible. Their total testosterone looks fine on paper, but their free testosterone, the testosterone their cells can actually use, is in the basement. So when we talk about boosting testosterone, we're not just talking about producing more. We're talking about protecting what you have, freeing what's being bound, blocking what's being converted, and fueling the machinery that makes it in the first place. That's the full picture. And every intervention I'm about to cover addresses one or more of those mechanisms. Let's go through them. Number 1. Zinc. This is the most underestimated mineral in men's health, and it is the foundation of everything else on this list. Here's why. Zinc is a direct cofactor in testosterone synthesis. Your Leydig cells, the cells inside your testes that manufacture testosterone, cannot do their job without adequate zinc. They are literally enzymatically dependent on it. And here is the part that should stop you cold. Zinc is one of the most commonly deficient minerals in men over 50. Why? Because zinc absorption decreases with age, because alcohol depletes it, because high-grain, low-meat diets don't supply enough, and because chronic stress burns through your zinc reserves like a furnace burns through kindling. A landmark study published in Nutrition found that zinc supplementation in zinc-deficient men nearly doubled their serum testosterone levels over 6 months. Doubled. Not a 10% improvement, not a slight boost. Nearly doubled. But here is where men go wrong. They buy the cheapest zinc oxide supplement at the pharmacy, take it for 2 weeks, and declare it doesn't work. Zinc oxide has roughly 10 to 15% absorption. If you want real results, you need zinc bisglycinate or zinc picolinate, chelated forms that your body actually absorbs and uses. The optimal dose is 25 to 40 milligrams per day, taken with food to avoid nausea. And critically, take it away from iron and calcium, which compete for the same absorption pathway. Before you add anything else to your routine, get your zinc levels checked, and get this one right. Everything else builds on it. Number 2. Magnesium. I know, you've heard about magnesium. Everyone talks about magnesium. But I need you to understand exactly why it matters for testosterone, because it's not what most people think. Magnesium does something very specific and very powerful for your testosterone levels. It competes with SHBG, that protein I mentioned earlier that binds up your free testosterone and takes it off the market. Magnesium literally displaces SHBG's grip on testosterone, freeing it up to become biologically active. A study in the Biological Trace Element Research Journal showed that magnesium supplementation significantly increased both free and total testosterone levels in men, and the effect was even stronger in men who also exercised. Exercise plus magnesium created a synergistic testosterone response that neither produced as powerfully alone. But here's the critical detail that most people skip. Form matters enormously. Magnesium oxide, which is in most cheap supplements, has roughly 4% bioavailability. You are essentially paying for nothing. You want magnesium glycinate for overall absorption and hormonal benefits, or magnesium threonate if you also want the cognitive benefits that come with testosterone optimization. 300 to 400 milligrams per day, taken in the evening. The evening timing is deliberate. Your body does its deepest hormonal repair while you sleep. Testosterone secretion pulses during REM sleep. Adequate magnesium improves both sleep quality and the hormonal activity that happens during it. You're stacking two benefits with one intervention. Number 3, vitamin D3 with K2. I'll say something here that I want to be very direct about. If you are not supplementing vitamin D3 and you live above roughly 35 degrees latitude, which includes most of the United States, Canada, and Europe, your testosterone is almost certainly being suppressed by deficiency. Vitamin D is not just a vitamin, it functions as a steroid hormone in your body, and your testosterone-producing Leydig cells have vitamin D receptors on them. When those receptors are adequately activated, testosterone synthesis increases. When they're starved, which happens when your D levels are low, production is blunted. A year-long randomized controlled trial found that men who supplemented with 3,300 IUs of vitamin D daily had testosterone levels more than 25% higher than the control group by the end of the study. Not marginally higher, 25%. The dose most doctors recommend is still far too conservative. The research consistently supports 4,000 to 6,000 IUs per day for testosterone optimization in men over 50. You also want K2 alongside it, specifically menaquinone 7, MK7, at 100 to 200 micrograms. K2 directs the calcium that D3 mobilizes into your bones and away from your arteries. They work together. Always take them together. Take D3 and K2 with your fattiest meal of the day. Vitamin D is fat-soluble. It absorbs dramatically better in the presence of dietary fat. Number 4, ashwagandha. Now we move into the adaptogen category, and ashwagandha is the most clinically validated herb on this list. But the reason it works for testosterone is not what most marketing will tell you. Ashwagandha's primary mechanism is cortisol reduction. And here is something that is absolutely critical to understand. Cortisol and testosterone have an inverse relationship in your body. When cortisol goes up, when you're stressed, when you're sleep deprived, when your blood sugar is crashing, your body actively suppresses testosterone production. This is a survival mechanism. In a threat state, reproduction becomes physiologically deprioritized. Ashwagandha, specifically KSM-66 or sensoril extract, has been shown in multiple double-blind, placebo-controlled trials to reduce cortisol levels by 25 to 30% over 60 to 90 days. And when cortisol comes down, testosterone comes up. A clinical trial published in the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition showed men taking ashwagandha had testosterone levels increase by an average of 15% over 8 weeks compared to placebo. The dose is 600 milligrams per day of a standardized extract. KSM-66 is the form with the most clinical backing. Take it with dinner or before bed. Ashwagandha has mild sedative properties that actually improve sleep quality. And as we discussed, better sleep means better testosterone pulsing at night. This one compounds beautifully with magnesium. Both work better together than alone when it comes to sleep quality and nighttime hormonal repair. Number 5, Tongkat Ali. This one has been used in Southeast Asian traditional medicine for centuries, but in the last decade the clinical research has caught up with the traditional reputation, and the results are genuinely impressive. Tongkat Ali, also called Uricoma longifolia, works through a different mechanism than everything else on this list. It doesn't primarily boost testosterone production. It frees testosterone that's already being suppressed. Specifically, it inhibits SHBG binding and reduces the activity of the enzyme that converts testosterone into estrogen. Think of it this way. You could be producing a reasonable amount of testosterone, but if your SHBG is high and your aromatase activity is elevated, that testosterone never reaches your cells. Tonkat Ali goes after both of those problems simultaneously. A study published in Andrologia found that men using Tonkat Ali standardized extract for 1 month saw total testosterone increase by 37% and free testosterone increase even more dramatically. The free testosterone result is what matters clinically. That's the bioavailable testosterone your body can actually use. The standardized form is what you want. Look for an extract standardized to at least 1% uricomanone, which is the active compound, 200 to 400 milligrams per day. Take it in the morning because it can be mildly stimulating, and for some men, taking it late in the day interferes with sleep. Number 6. Boron. This one is the dark horse on this list, and it is chronically ignored, which means if you start using it, you will be ahead of 95% of men following any testosterone protocol. Boron is a trace mineral that does something remarkable. Within just 1 week of supplementation, studies have shown that it reduces SHBG levels and reduces estradiol, the primary estrogen, while simultaneously increasing free testosterone. A study published in Integrative Medicine Journal showed that just 10 milligrams of boron daily for 1 week increased free testosterone by nearly 30% and reduced estradiol by roughly 40%. 1 week, not 8 weeks. 1 week. Boron also activates vitamin D in your body, meaning it makes your vitamin D supplementation significantly more effective. These two work in a synergistic loop that most testosterone protocols completely ignore. 10 milligrams per day of boron glycinate or calcium fructoborate. Take it with a meal. This is inexpensive, it's well tolerated, and the clinical evidence is solid. There is genuinely no good reason not to include it. Number 7. Phaedogia agrestis. Now, this one I want to address carefully because it has exploded in popularity, largely due to its prominence in certain high-profile health podcasts. The mechanism is real. It appears to stimulate LH, luteinizing hormone, which is the signal your brain sends to your testes to produce testosterone. In animal studies, the testosterone increases were significant and rapid. The honest assessment right now is that human clinical data is still limited. The studies that do exist are promising. But the dosing window matters, and cycling is important. High doses used continuously in animal studies raised concerns about testicular stress. Current clinical thinking suggests using it in cycles, 8 weeks on, 4 weeks off, at doses of 400 to 600 milligrams per day, using a reputable standardized extract. If you are going to include it, treat it as a cyclical addition to the foundation, not a replacement for it. The foundation is zinc, magnesium, D3, and the lifestyle factors we're about to discuss. Phaedogia can amplify a strong foundation. It cannot rescue a broken one. Now let's talk about the accelerators, because you can take every single supplement on this list and still leave enormous results on the table if you're not addressing the lifestyle variables that govern how your body responds to everything. The biggest one is sleep, and I'm not going to tell you to sleep more and leave it at that. I'm going to tell you exactly why sleep is a direct testosterone intervention. Your body releases the majority of its daily testosterone in pulses during sleep, specifically during the deep slow wave and REM phases. Men who sleep less than 6 hours a night have been shown to have testosterone levels equivalent to men 10 to 15 years older than them, not marginally lower, age-shifted lower. And here is the sobering number. Every single night of poor sleep compounds. 1 week of sleeping 5 hours per night reduces testosterone by an average of 15%, according to research from the University of Chicago. The men in that study were young and healthy. Imagine what chronic poor sleep over years does to men over 50 who are starting from a lower baseline. Sleep optimization is not optional if you're serious about this. Your magnesium glycinate at night helps. Your ashwagandha before bed helps. Keeping your bedroom cool, under 68 degrees Fahrenheit, matters because deep sleep is temperature regulated. And eliminating blue light in the 90 minutes before bed protects melatonin, which in turn protects the hormonal cascade that starts while you're sleeping. The second accelerator is resistance training, specifically compound movements. Squats, deadlifts, rows, presses. These movements create acute testosterone and growth hormone surges that, over time, upregulate your testosterone receptors. It's not just about the hormone level in your blood. It's about how sensitive your cells are to the testosterone you have. A man with 600 nanograms per deciliter of testosterone and highly sensitive receptors can feel and function better than a man with 700 nanograms per deciliter and downregulated receptors. Lift heavy 2 to 3 times per week. Keep sessions under 60 minutes. Once you exceed 60 minutes of intense lifting, cortisol overtakes testosterone in the hormonal response. You're working against yourself. The third accelerator is body fat management, specifically around your midsection. Visceral fat, the fat around your organs and waistline, contains high concentrations of aromatase enzyme. That means it is a testosterone to estrogen conversion factory sitting inside your body. The more visceral fat you carry, the more testosterone gets converted, and more estrogen further promotes fat storage in a cycle that gets harder to break the longer it runs. Every intervention that reduces visceral fat, intermittent fasting, reduced refined carbohydrates, increased dietary fiber, consistent exercise, also increases your free testosterone by reducing the aromatase burden. This is not about aesthetics. This is about hormonal chemistry. Now here is the strategy I promised you at the beginning, the one almost nobody is talking about. Most men approach testosterone support like a buffet. They grab a few things, take them inconsistently, never really build a protocol, and then wonder why they don't feel different after 30 days. The men who actually transform their hormonal health use a sequenced, layered approach. Think of it in phases. Phase 1, the first 2 weeks, is foundation. Zinc, magnesium, D3 with K2, cleaned up sleep. Nothing fancy, just removing the deficiencies that are suppressing you. Phase 2, weeks 3 through 8, is optimization. Ashwagandha, boron, and tonkat ali are added. The lifestyle factors are locked in. The synergistic effects between these compounds start to build. This is where most men first notice a genuine shift. Clearer mental energy in the morning, more consistent motivation, improved body composition, stronger physical response. Phase 3, week 9 onward, is amplification and maintenance. The protocol is now running efficiently. At this point, some men choose to add Phaedogia agrestis in cycles. Others find the foundation phase alone has taken them where they want to be. This is also where the results become self-reinforcing. Better sleep improves hormones. Improved hormones support better body composition. Better composition reduces aromatase. Lower aromatase means more free testosterone. The system feeds itself, but you have to build it in sequence. That's the critical distinction between men who say supplements don't work and men who say they changed their life. Here is what to expect realistically. By the end of week 2, sleep quality improves. Morning energy is cleaner. The brain fog that most men over 50 have accepted as normal starts to lift slightly. By week 4 to 6, physical changes start. Strength improves in the gym even if weight isn't changing. You notice drive coming back, not just physically, but professionally. That sense of wanting to pursue things. Motivation that used to require willpower starts to feel more natural. By 90 days, the transformation is visible and felt. Men report that their partners notice the change before they have to say a word. They feel grounded in their own body in a way they haven't in years. This is not magic. This is restoring the hormonal environment your body was designed to operate in. You're not chasing the testosterone of a 25-year-old. You're restoring what should rightfully be yours for your age. Before I close out, safety matters, and I want to be direct about it. If you are on any medications, particularly blood thinners, hormone therapy, or medications for blood pressure, speak with your doctor before starting any of these protocols. Ashwagandha, tonkat ali, and boron all have meaningful physiological effects, and interactions are possible. Get baseline blood work done. Total testosterone, free testosterone, SHBG, estradiol, vitamin D, zinc levels. That data tells you exactly where your deficiencies and imbalances are. It takes the guesswork out completely and lets you target your protocol with precision. Follow up at 60 and 90 days. Seeing those numbers move in real time is both motivating and informative. And remember, these are optimization tools, not replacements for proper medical evaluation. If you have severely low testosterone with clinical symptoms, a urologist or endocrinologist needs to be part of your care. Gentlemen, if this video gave you something concrete and actionable, I want you to do one thing right now. Drop a comment below with the word protocol. Just that one word. Not because it's a magic phrase, but because making a public commitment, even anonymously, dramatically increases the likelihood you'll actually follow through. Behavioral research backs this up. The men who comment are the men who start. If you found this valuable, hit that subscribe button because next week I'm breaking down the 3 foods that are silently destroying testosterone in men over 50. And one of them is probably something you eat every single morning thinking it's healthy. You do not want to build a complete testosterone protocol and then sabotage it at breakfast. I'm Dr. Steven. I'll see you in the next one.